Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live for ADEX Aura AI agents taking over Web3. Don't worry, it's going to be nothing scary, nothing crazy. It's just going to be a deep dive into AI agents, what they can do for DeFi, and what we've been cooking in the Aura kitchen. My name is Nadia. I'm a marketing manager for ADEX. And with me today, I've got Ivo Georgiev, who is the CEO of ADEX. Hello, Ivo.
Hey everyone, excited for
Great
the
to
same
have you.
AMA. Thank you.
Yeah, great to have you today. Um, we have some very interesting questions that we have prepared, and also we open it up to the ADEX community to be able to ask their questions. And we've had some spicy questions there, so prepare for some heat later.
Awesome.
But first, tell us a little bit more about how Addicts and how Aura in particular came to be. It has been quite the journey. I have been with Addicts for 6 years now, and the fun just doesn't stop. But yeah, there's been quite a lot of interesting things in terms of both years of building in the space as well as developments themselves. So over to you, Ivo.
Yes, fantastic question, and it's actually a very long story and very evolutionary tale. And it comes back to my first successful project that I founded, Streamio, which is a media center application similar to Cozy or Plex. So back in the day when Streamio started making it big, by the way, now it has over 40 million signups. But when it started gaining traction, our initial way of monetization back then was advertising. And we found that most of the advertising networks, most of the companies in advertising are really not transparent. And they are very much benefiting from this. And the business is structured in such a way to screw over both publishers and to some extent advertisers. So at this point in time, it was 2016. At this point in time, I wasn't that familiar with crypto. My only experience was mining a bit of Bitcoin in high school that I immediately spent for a cloud service. Yeah, for a cloud service provider, which I regret, but I didn't have any money back then, so that was the
At
situation.
least it wasn't
Uh,
pizza. At least it wasn't
yeah,
pizza.
well, pizza day is what, tomorrow, or I'm not
Tomorrow.
sure. Yep. Anyway,
Tomorrow.
so mine was cloud storage day. It was called Wow. Anyway, so the point is that I didn't have much experience, but in 2016, as you might imagine, it was the birth of Ethereum. I know that this project was started earlier, but it was like 2016 people started talking about Ethereum, right? So me and my co-founder back then, Dimo, we figured out that maybe it's time to disrupt advertising, and it's time to make advertising more transparent. And Ethereum was pretty much the perfect foundation for this because it allowed us to build those decentralized, transparent ways of connecting different intermediaries that made a lot of sense. So that's how we started ADEX. And during the years, ADEX operated pretty nicely. It onboarded many publishers and many advertisers, but over time, it's obvious that display advertising is more and more of an obsolete model. It's just the way that the web works right now. People are overwhelmed from like being pitched code, and in the same time, we have AI, and not only AI, just general recommendation engines and and very highly targeted advertising. You know, when you go on Facebook, the ads work, right? Because you see something you care about. When you go on X, formerly known as Twitter, the same. The advertising is extremely targeted. Same for Instagram, and you cannot go against those giants, not because they're giants, but because they employ a lot of AI and data and targeted advertising. So since we are very crypto native, what we figured out that the best direction for ADEX will be is to create a recommendation engine for DeFi strategies, for airdrops, for all sorts of portfolio management things, because that way we're solving two problems at a time. So first of all, we're solving the problem of Web3 being very difficult to navigate. Everyone knows that. One part of this is solving the wallet problem, and we're doing this with Ambire. But then the second part, on the application level, you still have the difficulty of knowing which protocol to use, which dApp to use, where to put your money. It's all very confusing. I'm sure that everyone knows that, and it's really tough to keep up with all the protocols. And one day the best yield is Aave, the next day the best yield is Morpho, the third day the best yield is Compound. So it's just a person cannot do this alone unless it's your main like focus. So this is where Aura comes in. This is why Aura was created, to give people targeted recommendations of what they use. And yeah, there's some advertising in it. This is how it's the successor of the ADEX platform, because you can still, like, a protocol can still pay, and maybe we'll get later in this AMA, we'll get to this. A protocol can still pay to get more exposure via Aura. But the core point is that it's not advertising, it's recommendations. It's serving the user first, and it's not pushing stuff into the user's face. At least that's the vision for the future.
Okay, that sounds great. So you've already mentioned briefly, what we envisioned with Aura, but can you tell us a little bit more detail? So what is Aura, and what are the problems that it solves?
Great question. So Aura, I would say it's many things. It's really hard to choose just one definition. So what I would start with is the problems that it solves, and I think most fundamentally it solves the problem of managing your personal finances, managing your way, so to speak, into Web3. And this is not only like investing, could be speculating, could be like buying tokens that have very big opportunities, could be claiming airdrops, or even in the future it can be other Web3 use cases. But the whole point is that it makes Web3 easier to navigate, and it makes it more automated. So the problem that it solves is precisely this difficulty of how to manage your assets, and requiring people to be to have so much specific knowledge, because all of those things are different things. Like looking for yield for your stables is one thing. Investing in projects is totally different. Claiming airdrops is different altogether, different entirely. And this is a problem that it solves. All this information that you need to know, we make it so you don't need to know it. That's the cool thing. And we leverage modern LLMs, which have been really highly developed over the last few years. We leverage those in order to solve this problem for the user. But the way I define it is it's an AI agent framework. First, because it allows, and we will get to this in a moment, but it allows companies and even users at some level to have their own AI agents. First of all. Second of all, it's a DeFi recommendation engine, because it gives you DeFi recommendations and trading recommendations. And finally, I would say it's attention economy, just like the original idea for the ADEX platform, because eventually down the line, it allows protocols to buy your attention. And even now, even without any way for a protocol to pay for advertising, it still allows a protocol to buy a user's attention. Why? Because the protocol, by virtue of having rewards for the users, is buying their attention, which is, I think, the right way it should be in this industry. It's a very aligned form of incentives. Rather than the protocol paying Aura, they would pay the users directly, and that's how they would get their attention. And Aura can get different sorts of monetizations from this. Can get a percentage of the deal, some sort of a transaction fee, an AI agent fee. There are multiple ways it will be monetized.
Great. I think there is still so much friction in Web3, and in crypto in general, and there's so much potential, but people can't seem to get into it, and can't seem to getting to DeFi because of the things that you mentioned. It's just too daunting. There's just too much information. How do you know what's high risk, what's low risk? If you know, depending on your budget, depending on your portfolio. So I think that would be a great solution for people as well to kind of step into DeFi and be able to experience the potential that Web3 in general has for everybody. So that's great, and I think that's one of the kind of use cases for Aura. But can you give us some more examples of Aura? So who is it exactly, and how it can be used?
That's a fantastic question, and that's something that a lot of people ask. And the answer is that it's sort of a framework. It's a library. So the way we envision it in practical terms is it will be integrated by wallets, or it will be integrated by sort of like the final the sort of like the entry into Web3. Like for example, the way we see the future is that your wallet will be your entry to Web3. It will be your gateway to Web3. So your wallet is like basically the thing that's managing the self custody for your assets. So this is the best place for Aura to be. And how it will work in practice, you will see a banner saying enable ADEX Aura, enable this AI agent that will make actions on your behalf. And then you decide which assets to give it access to. Then you decide, for example, I allow it to manage all of my assets with a low risk strategy, and I allow it to manage like to employ like $1,000 or whatever you decide, 1,000 USDC to employ on high risk plays. And the AI agent, what it will do is in an automated manner, it would put your like for example ether, it will put it into lido, it will put your stables in Aave, and tomorrow if Aave is no longer the most high yielding low risk protocol, it will move your assets to the next one, which is the highest yielding. So the good thing is that thanks to account abstraction built into wallets now with the Pectra upgrade of Ethereum, this can be done in a secure way. So you're not giving the AI agent your private key. You're just giving it limited control over your wallet in a very secure manner. So what I mean when I say very secure manner is that most of those things that the agent wants to do, they will be double checked on chain. So like for example, if the agent gives a command move the funds out of Aave and put them into this new protocol, the on-chain safeguards would check if this operation retains the same value of your assets. So like if you have $1,000 to move, it will make sure that the output after this operation is at least 1,000. Otherwise, it won't accept the command. So all of this can be done very securely. But my point here is it's mainly for the way we see it is for wallets. And there is a way that you can experience it yourself before it's integrated in wallets. And this way is through the demo that we launched today. And for now, you can check the strategies it recommends. You cannot execute them yet. That's the next step. But you can check what the AI agent framework or the DeFi recommendation engine has recommended for you.
Okay, for those of you listening live, Evo just dropped a huge surprise, and you're the first ones to hear it. The Aura demo is live already. We'll show it to you very shortly, but he kind of dropped the Easter egg, so might as well tell you, you can head already to the ADEX website and try the demo yourself. The first early testers also will be able to mint an exclusive NFT. So go run, check what you can do with your portfolio and earn your NFT. While we talk a little bit more about the ADX token, what else is in the future for Aura, etc. So I just mentioned the ADX token. The token has been out there for a while, but does Aura enhance its utility in any way, and how exactly does this happen?
Absolutely. So ADX already has a lot of utility cases, but now with Aura, they are enhanced in multiple ways. So first of all, It allows for security staking, and what this means is that if your protocol is not as well known as Aave, Uniswap, Morpho, Fluid, etc., all of the big protocols, you can still have it considered by Aura, but you have to have a security deposit with the staking contract that we're gonna upgrade to, which is also something we announced a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and the governance proposal just ended. But we're upgrading to a new staking contract for ADX, and this staking contract is going to enable this security staking, where if you have your own protocol, you want to sort of promote on Aura, actually to make Aura consider it. What you need to do is you need to stake a certain amount of ADX. This will be defined later, and the more the better, obviously, because the whole point here is to discourage like rug pull protocols, so to speak. So we will have like very strict security limits, and the total amount that Aura uh, will allow for users to deposit into your protocol would probably be dictated by the amount of tokens that you stake as a protocol. And the thinking here is that if your protocol does something wrong and loses the funds in some way, we need to be able to recover it from this stake. So that's one of the things, security staking. And the other thing we call boosting. So boosting is just to make Aura consider your protocol higher and recommend it higher up the list. But this will be like disclosed, just like any other advertising. So it will say boosted or something like this. Like when you see the list of strategies in the demo, you will see boosted strategies. And one more thing here to clarify. Obviously, I'm talking about an AI agent, and at the same time, I'm talking about a list of strategies. The AI agent will choose a strategy on your behalf, so you won't be seeing a list of strategies, but you will be able to configure it, right? So you will be able to see like a page, a settings page where you can disable certain strategies, you can enable certain strategies. If you don't want boosted strategies, you can specify this, and etc. So even though the demo currently is a list of strategies and the AI agent will choose on your behalf, you will still have the ability to override the AI agent and choose a strategy by yourself. So those are the new utilities for the ADX token: the security staking and the boosting.
Well, I think that's a great kind of evolution for not just for ADX and Aura, but also for the ADX token, because there's been quite a few people who've been holding and staking their tokens for a while. So that would be that's a great natural evolution for the ADX token as well. Okay, and before we go into a little live demo of Aura, can you tell us what is still to come? What do we have in the pipeline to look forward to?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I wanted to add first about the token, because it's still part of the pipeline, is that the revenue from Aura also goes into the staking pool. So that's also a bit of utility. That's not a bit of utility; it's a huge utility that's being added. But in regards to future plans, the steps are relatively clear. So the next thing we would be working on is making the strategies actionable. So right now we tell you this is the strategy. You can do it yourself, but obviously the end vision is to be as close to automated as possible. So the next step would be being able to click on a strategy and have it executed automatically. Then the next step after this would be importing more outside data into Aura, because Aura right now knows about many DeFi protocols, but it doesn't know about the ultra cutting edge stuff that comes up on chain. So external sources would be one of the next thing that we will be working on. Full automation, so full AI agent mode, where it automatically selects the strategy as well and automatically executes it at the best possible moment in time. That's also something coming in the future. Automated airdrop claiming, that's something also coming in the future. I believe it wasn't specified in the original roadmap, but or it was mentioned, but since then we've started working on this really heavily, because it's a very big use case that we very firmly believe in. By firmly, I mean everyone has got this difficulty of being up during the night or being up at a specific hour and rushing to claim something, whether it's airdrop or actually it could be even DevCon tickets, it still counts. It's still something that we can work on in the future. And yeah, those are the main things that we'll be working on.
Well, that sounds great. If I say so myself, you might not be able to tell from crypto Twitter, but we actually need to sleep and have lives, little lives outside of Web3 too. So I'm glad to hear that it'll be able to do all of these things for us, and we don't have to set airdrop alarms anymore just to catch them. Okay, so we are now ready to show the demo for those who haven't gone and claimed their NFT yet. So just give me a second and I will share my screen and we'll have a look ourselves. Sorry, it wouldn't be a live stream if there wasn't a tiny little delay. There we go. Okay, so this is the shiny new demo of Adex Aura. What you do here is you simply enter an address. It does not even have to be an address, it can be an ENS. So I'm just gonna type the ENS address, ENS name of someone I know, click enter, and it's going to show me some strategies. So there we have it. We have some strategies to stake ETH for yields on there's a couple of protocols that are being suggested. Deposit USDC. So it looks at all the assets that are being held on this account. You can see here, it looks at the previous history of the address, and it suggests different strategies. You can, of course, analyze another address. You don't need to connect your wallet, but if you do, then you get this beautiful NFT that we prepared especially for the first 420 people that are gonna try out Aura. So this is how simple it is, and this is how, in a very simple and organized, structured way, it shows people what they can do with the funds that they hold. So yeah, do you have anything to add, Ivo?
No, the strategies look pretty straightforward, especially the low risk ones. Like for example, staking is on Lido is a no-brainer because you can even add it on Aave later as collateral. So this one is a no-brainer. The other one with USDC. The cool thing here is that it detects the network, and yeah, this one is also pretty straightforward and a no-brainer. But not everyone will know it, and especially with the AI agent, it will be really convenient if it can be performed automatically. But the more high risk ones are obviously the more interesting and more challenging for the product.
Great. Okay, so I'll stop sharing now. And we've had some questions from the audience. The first one from Panko. Hey, Panko. Thanks for joining us. The question is, can Aura work passively in the background, or does the user need to actively engage with it?
Great question. So it will be both. So it's an AI agent framework, and the way it will work is up to the integrator. So we have our own demo, which will always exist, and it will always be something that the user needs to actively engage with. Even though there is an option in the future for us to make our own agent, which you can activate with your wallet, but this depends on on the wallet infrastructure in general. But what I'm trying to say is that it will depend on the integrator. So, like for example, if let's take Ambire as an example because it's one of the wallets that has committed to integrating Aura. The way Ambire sees it, we will implement it in a way that's mostly passive. So mostly working in the background with the ability to override the strategies. But other wallets can choose different things. So like other wallets can choose like no AI agent activity at all, just a list of strategies that the user can just click once and they would be done. But no activity like without engaging.
Great, thank you. So there's another question from Petrix, GM Petrix. So the question is, why the name Aura for an AI trading advisor?
Okay, AI trading advisor is a new definition that I hadn't heard yet, but it also makes sense. But ADEX Aura is actually an acronym. I'm not sure if we've ever communicated that openly.
I don't think so. So
Um,
that's another little surprise for our listeners.
Nadia, do you know what the acronym stands for? I think it's Automated User Recommendations AI. Yeah, Automated User
Agent,
Recommendations
maybe?
AI.
I don't know. This was a
Or
while
agent,
ago.
agent, agent 2. That was part of the original like vision for it. That the acronym can be used interchangeably. And yeah, I believe it's something that we never communicated publicly.
Okay, another question from Jordan. Hey, Jordan. Jordan would like to know if he can use Aura with his Web3 wallet.
Not right now, other than the demo. So you can use the demo to enter your address. You don't need to connect or anything. Actually, you do need to connect if you want to claim the NFT, but you don't have to connect. So you just enter the address and it will give you the recommendation. So kind of you can, but it's not the way it will work in the future. So the cool thing about Aura in the future is that you will be able to enable Aura for your wallet and it would work in the background.
Great. Another question from Steven. Do you plan any token buybacks anytime soon?
Yep, yep. Just give me a second. Are you hearing any background noise, by the way?
Just a little bit, but it's not too bad.
If it's fine, then I can continue like this. So, anyway, what I was saying is that we're planning buybacks. We will disclose this soon. But actually, since the last time we disclosed buybacks, we did a few that we haven't disclosed yet, and we don't disclose them in advance so as to not influence the market. But we've already done some buybacks that we would disclose soon.
Great. Thank you very much. Another question from Alpina. Oh, we have so many people listening and asking questions. That's amazing. The question is, what's happening with the AdX platform? I'm assuming he means the advertising platform. Are you done with ad tech for good now?
I wouldn't say we're done with ad tech. I would just say that Aura is the new form of ad tech because the way Aura works is I already touched upon this, but it's sort of an attention economy where protocols can buy the attention of the users by virtue of simply being good products or by virtue of having rewards. Like, for example, if your protocol not only gives you yield but also rewards you in addition with their own token, then this is a form of ad tech because it allows the protocol to buy the user's attention through Aura. But the cool thing about this is that I would say it's ad tech V2, and I wouldn't associate with the original ad tech term because it has become pretty polluted by this point, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, absolutely. We were talking about evolution earlier and how things are changing and evolving and becoming their better versions, or a different version of what they were. So that makes perfect sense. Um, I think it's time to wrap this up for today. If we have somehow missed your question, you can join Alex on Telegram. You can join us. You can follow us on X and send us a DM. We will answer your questions. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Just to summarize, go mint your NFT, try out the Aura demo, maybe follow one of the strategies if you are just coming into DeFi and wanna try things out. There's great things to still come, so we're all super busy building amazing features, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.